Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over my Week 4 XFL Power Rankings. So, going over last week's rankings and what happened to those teams in Week 3. So, last week, at number 8, I had the Guardians. They lost to the Renegades 10-9. 7 was the Vipers. I lost to the Sea Dragons 30-26. 6 was the Sea Dragons. They beat the Vipers 30-26. 5 was the Brahmas. They lost to the Roughnecks 22-13. 4 was the Defenders. They knocked off the Battlehawks, winning 34-28. 3 was the Renegades. They just snuck past the Guardians, winning 10-9. 2 was the Battlehawks. They lost to the Defenders 34-28. And 1 was the Roughnecks, who beat the Brahmas 22-13. So starting off this week's rankings, at number 8, I've got the Orlando Guardians. They lost to the Renegades, but they played a very close game. They only gave up 10 points, but their offense still wasn't good. They only put up 9 points. And usually when you're only give up 10 points, you can usually score enough points to get the win. That was not the case for the Guardians this past week. They still need to figure out the quarterback position with Paxton Lynch. And is he their guy at quarterback? Is he not? He wasn't amazing, but he wasn't terrible like he had been. He was okay, actually didn't turn the ball over, and I liked how they used him in the run game. But speaking of quarterbacks, they also signed former USF quarterback Quentin Flowers, so he will give them another option at the quarterback position. But for the Guardians, they're definitely the worst team in the XFL, and they remain at number 8. Coming in at number 7, we have the Vegas Vipers. So they've remained winless, but they played a pretty good game against the Sea Dragons. They just ended up on the losing end. Offensively, they were good, putting up 26 points, but the defense had no answer for the Sea Dragons offensively, as they could not stop the Sea Dragons' aerial attack, nor the rushing attack, and also had trouble tackling. But the Vipers, they need to start winning before it's too late, and the Vipers, they remain at number 7. Number 6, we've got the San Antonio Brahmas. So they enter at number 6 after a loss to the Roughnecks. They had the opportunity to potentially tie the game, as they had the ball at the goal line with about 4 minutes to go, but they were unable to get in the end zone. Now, the Brahmas, I still think they're a very good team despite having a 1-2 record. They aren't the most experienced team in the XFL, and they played a really good Roughnecks team, so I don't want to penalize them by dropping them too much. I have them at number 6, but I definitely still think they've got a good offense, good defense, could definitely make the playoffs out of the South Division. Coming in at number 5, we've got the Seattle Sea Dragons. So the Sea Dragons picked up their first win of the season with a win over the Vipers behind a fantastic offensive performance, scoring 30 points. They had the first 100-yard rusher in the XFL when Morgan Ellison went for 103 yards. They also had the first 100-yard wide receiver, as Josh Gordon had 118 receiving yards. Plus, the Sea Dragons also set a league high in passing yards, as quarterback Ben DiNucci threw for 377 yards. And DiNucci is also on pace for 2,821 passing yards, which would be the most in spring football since 2001. Now, the Sea Dragons' defense isn't amazing, but their offense is so good they could score on almost anyone, keep up with anyone, and they will make the Sea Dragons a good team. And if the Sea Dragons can just learn how to finish games, then they could be a really good team. Right now, they enter at number 5, but I could definitely see the argument for them higher, maybe even at number 4. Coming in at number 4, we've got the Renegades. So they started Kyle Sloter at quarterback for the first time this season. He was okay, but the offense as a whole once again struggled. They only scored 10 points, and it doesn't seem to matter who's at quarterback for the Renegades, whether it's Kyle Sloter or Drew Plitt, but the offense has trouble scoring. Now, it is a very good thing for the Renegades that they have a fantastic defense, because with the way their offense has been playing, they could easily be 0-3 if they didn't have their fantastic defense. But I debated the Renegades for lower, but they are 2-1, second in the South Division, and at number 4, but I could easily see them at 5. Next, at number 3, we've got the St. Louis Battlehawks. So they suffered their first loss of the season with a 34-28 loss to the Defenders. They trailed yet again. The only difference this week was they weren't able to come back. And now the Battlehawks, they're a pretty good team. They had a pretty good game aside from the 4 turnovers. They need to clean those up. But they're still a very good team. And when you look at the fact of their first 3 games that they played, 3 straight road games, going 2-1, and the game they lost was their 3rd straight road game against the Defenders, who are the team 3-0 atop the North Division, and they also played in front of a raucous crowd. So the Battlehawks are still a very, very good team. They come in at number 3. They've got a highly anticipated home opener next week against the Renegades, and they enter at number 3. Number 2, we've got the DC Defenders. So they currently sit atop the North Division at 3-0 after a win over the Battlehawks 34-28. They answered questions about their passing attack, as I had concerns about their passing attack coming into the week, and they answered those questions, throwing for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Defenders, they've also got a great defense. They forced 4 turnovers, including 2 A.J. McCarron interceptions, and McCarron had been a quarterback that hadn't turned the ball over, So it was really big for the defenders to be able to force them into a few turnovers, and that was a big reason why their defense was able to have success, and the defenders themselves were able to get a win. But the defenders, they've also got a tremendous home field advantage with a great atmosphere, and they are 5-0 at home when you combine 2020 and this season. And the defenders, they are one of two undefeated teams in the XFL. They sit atop the North Division and are number 2 in my power rankings. And number 1, we've got the Houston Roughnecks. They're now 8-0 in franchise history. They are the clear team to beat in the XFL. They've got a good offense, a great defense, and their defense came up with a fantastic goal line stand to seal the win for the Roughnecks over the Brahmas. Now, the Roughnecks, they have played all their games at home so far this season, but they finally get a road game next week when they travel to Orlando and play the Guardians, a team they beat in Week 1. So I definitely think the Roughnecks are the clear team to beat, the best team in the XFL, and they're number 1 in my power rankings. But I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notifications to if you're upcoming videos. Comment in the comments if you agree with my rankings, disagree, and why. But make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn notifications so I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.